Guys, how long would Goku need to train to reach the power of a god of destruction? Would Goku, training for 10,000 years, be able to reach Beerus' power? Well, let's see this with me in this epic story. But first leave your like and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. Did you do that? So let's start. Currently, the Earth was experiencing great moments of peace and continued prosperity. Everything seemed to be going well for all the inhabitants of that planet. There were no invasions, strange incidents, or anything like that. The land seemed to be breathing peace after so long. In the midst of so much peace and calm, Goku found himself reflecting on his thoughts while hunting for fish that Chi-Chi had ordered for dinner. Goku said, "Yes, the Earth is actually calmer than I thought it would be. It's been exactly 2 years that the Earth has been like this, and absolutely nothing has ever happened," Goku said while carrying the 2 fish he had on his back. Goku thought, as much as I don't mind the current state of the Earth, I can't deny that I miss a challenge or extra motivation to help with my training. I feel like I'm completely stuck and rusty even though I train practically every day. It's a horrible feeling, thought Goku, who was deeply lost in his thoughts. Halfway there, Goku ends up meeting Goten, who was looking for him. Goku didn't understand why he was there, since Goten wasn't that interested in these fighter things at the age he is now, so Goku had found his son's action a bit peculiar. Goten said, "Oh, hello, Dad! I finally found you! How wonderful! I will finally be able to accomplish what I was thinking." "Ha ha ha ha," said Goten, expressing his genuine happiness. Goku said, "What? Like this? Accomplish what you wanted? I don't understand. Are you having a specific problem?" said Goku, who was trying to find out about his son's supposed problem. Goten said, "Well, theoretically, this could be considered a problem, depending on your point of view. But anyway, what matters is that you can help me at this moment, you hear? I need you to help me urgently," said Goten, who seemed quite upset. Goku said, "Well, you can talk, Goten. I'm all ears. I hope I can help you with your problem." "Come on, talk," Goku said, waiting for his youngest son's response. Goten said, "There is a girl. Her name is Suzume. She is a girl who studies in the 2A class at my school. I recently discovered that she loves men with good muscle mass, and that's why I was interested in training again. My request is that you train me properly. Basically, what I want is this," Goten commented, expressing complete seriousness. Goku said, "Ah, so it's about a girl, right? I see. Well, I can help you with that. You said you just want to gain some muscle mass, right? Well, we can start today if you want, but first, let's eat, okay?" said Goku, who felt happy to be able to help his son. Goten said, "All right then, let's eat, Dad. I'm starving. Ha ha ha," spoke Goku's youngest, as they both quickly headed home. Goku and Goten were going to the house laughing at silly things, while Chi-Chi just watched the two from afar. As much as she thought Goku was taking much longer than usual to get home, she understood that he was spending time with Goten, and with that, her happiness was heightened. Chi-Chi said, "These family moments are really incredible. Oh, my Goten grew up so fast. Oh, damn, I'm feeling nostalgic," Chi-Chi said, while she wiped her tears with her delicate fingers. Chi-Chi said, "Well, I'll wait in the kitchen. They're already on the way. All I need to do is wait for Goku and then I can make a delicious dinner," commanded the Saiyan's wife as she headed to the kitchen. Goku and Goten had finally arrived home. Goku delivered the 2 huge fish that Chi-Chi had requested and thus immediately left the house to go to the ventilated lawn together with Goten. They watched how wonderful the moon was today. Normally Goku isn't much for noticing these things, but today for some reason he was fascinated by the glow that the moon could produce. Goku said, "Goten, do you want to train now?" said Goku while staring at the moon. Goten said, "Yes, the sooner, the better the results will be, don't you think? Ha ha ha," said Goku's son while positioning himself in a combat pose. Goku, who had let out a small smile, quickly stood up and positioned himself in his classic combat pose. Both father and son stared at each other. It was noticeable to see that the aura began to clash as a large wind was emitted next to these two warriors. Goten, who didn't want to waste time and was desperate to get results, went at his father at superhuman speed and tried to throw a right punch to his abdomen. However, Goku defended his son's attack with just his knee, and soon after, he headbutted his son in the face, who ended up weakening for a few moments. Goten said, "Come on, Dad, you don't just have that, right? You'll have to do better. I won't give up so easily, do you hear me? So come on, Dad, don't go easy on me. If I really want to win the girl I like with the results I think in mind, then I will give it my all," said Goten, who had just transformed into a Super Saiyan. Goku was happy because his son was determined. Yes, his determination could be something extremely simple and straightforward, but still it was a determination that filled his eyes. It was something really contagious because Goku had realized how much Goten had changed. And then at that moment, Goten goes at high speed towards Goku. However, Goku appears behind Goten and gives him a small slap on the neck, a point that made Goten automatically faint due to the tension of his father's blow. Goku said, "You've really grown up a lot, son. Your determination, however simple it may be, offered me a light of hope for my training. I thank you very much. You have really grown as a person, but I think I will have to end the training here," said Goku, who had held Goten in his arms and left him on his bed. Goku instantly headed to the temple room with the intention of speaking to Master Popo and Dende about a subject related to his own personal training. He had finally arrived. The celestial platform had always been the way it always was, and yet it still conveyed the same peaceful feeling of tranquility as when Goku visited this place for the first time. Dende, who was next to Mr. Popo, saw Goku and was immediately filled with happiness as he hadn't seen his friend for a while. Dende said, "Hello, Mr. Goku. How have you been? Everything is great on Earth, right? I realize that there is practically no dangerous evil," he commented with relief. Goku said, "Yes, the Earth has really entered a state of peace. This is really good, but I feel a little empty about it. My training can no longer give any kind of result, no matter the training method. What do I do from now on to improve?" said Goku while positioning himself on this. "Tell me, Goku, aren't you planning on..." Mr. Popo said that when he was about to talk about Goku's situation, he ended up being cut off by the phrase that Dende soon said afterwards. Dende said, "Very well, you came here because of the temple room, didn't you? Well, if that is your wish, then I wish you very strongly, sir," he said Dende, while shaking Goku's hands as a sign of respect. Goku was about to enter the temple room when suddenly Mr. Popo came to him, warning him again about the dangers of using the temple room. He says that although Goku was powerful enough to destroy it, if he ended up destroying the entrance door, he would be there forever and would never be able to leave. Goku, on the other hand, just says that if that happens, he can open a rift with the expansion of his ki. Goku said, "I decided that I will spend 10,000 years in this place. It's a long time, but I believe it will be worth it. Please, I ask that you inform Chi-Chi for me, Mr. Popo. She will certainly be very worried and won't accept it, but tell her that this was a decision I made for myself, understand?" said Goku, who soon headed towards the door of the temple room with determination painted on his face. After entering the room, the feeling of emptiness and calm was screaming in his ears. Goku had already trained here several times, but this time he was practically alone, with no one to accompany him in this deserted place with immense vastness. This time he would train to the maximum, aiming to achieve the maximum training that his Saiyan body could achieve. Yes, he definitely wouldn't fail today. Goten's determination was one of the triggers for motivating him to do something like this. Goku said, "Very well, I'm glad there's plenty of food in the time room. Besides, I brought several shelves of food with me, so I think I'll be stocked up enough. This training certainly won't be easy. Never spend more than a few years here, so this will definitely be an innovative training experience," commented Goku, who began to stretch while thinking about his training methods inside the room. Goku still remained mesmerized by how empty, calm, scary, and incredible the temple room could be at the same time. He liked training here, and this time he would train completely alone, so he had high expectations of being able to improve his skills more and more. Goku started to move, made several consecutive movements, and stopped at the same moment. He began to fire several key blasts around the place to create a smoke screen, and in this way create a good combat environment. Goku had finally created a good training environment within the time room. Now he could finally move around in an environment more adapted to his combat style. While training, Goku was thoughtful as he thought about what the world would be like when he left that room, as he would certainly be there for a long time. Still, Goku didn't let these thoughts enter his head and quickly focused on the training he was formulating in front of him. Goku had created several clones of himself with the Zansoken technique, and after that, several of Goku's clones attacked him without any mercy. It was visible how extremely fast they were moving. In addition, it seemed that the clones were in a constant synchrony, even if they were beings made of pure ki. Goku was having a bit of difficulty. He had created around 6 clones, and they were all coming at him with full combat strength. Despite it being complicated, he was dealing well with the situation, dodging the attacks with total caution and mastery, delivered by their own clones. Even though clones are good training partners, they are quite limited, as they cannot transform into Super Saiyan and forms higher than that, so it ends up being more difficult for Goku to have a good training pace. Goku thought, even though they are quite fast and have the same combat style and experience as me, it's still not enough. I can dodge all the blows with ease, and although it was a little complicated at first, I quickly adapted to it, and the fight ended up being uninteresting. Thought and upset Goku because the solution he had thought of didn't work out at all. Goku continued to dodge until at a certain point he decided to push away all the clones with an immense ki curtain and ended up defeating them all, one by one. This type of training was definitely a good idea, but for Goku, who was already used to situations like this, it didn't seem so fun and challenging. He was extremely angry because he was unable to find a practical and evolutionary training method. He has gone through countless types of training in his life, and at this very moment, none of them will have any significant effect if he tries to use them. So what would be the solution? Goku was thinking deeply until an idea came into his head, training his own physique in a mental world. This was something that Goku had learned a long time ago from Master Roshi. Even though you end up training the psychological and not the physical itself, the capabilities and evolutions that you obtain as you advance in the mental world are passed directly to your physical. In this way, it is possible to have a more progressive and direct evolution. Goku, who didn't want to waste time, immediately started doing this. He was sinking deep into his own mental world, the world he imagined. When he opened his eyes, he glimpsed a completely desert environment. The landscape was quite beautiful. It consisted of a sunny and vivid sky, in addition to the small curtain of wind that circulated around the place. In a way, this environment pleased the Saiyan. Goku said, "I didn't imagine my mental state would be so empty. I don't see absolutely anyone here or anything, but it's kind of obvious since this is my mental state and not anyone else's. Anyway, now I can emulate perfect combat in this location. I just need to focus on it," said the Saiyan, looking forward to a good fight that would make him evolve considerably. At that exact moment, Goku was meditating in that desert and lifeless place. He only felt the small and thin curtain of wind that circulated him from afar, yet this did not stop the Saiyan from delving deeper into his subconscious and being able to project the enemy he wanted to face. In front of him, Beerus, the god of destruction, was present. The god looked at the Saiyan with curiosity as he wanted to know what he was doing in that place. Beerus said, "Goku, what are you doing here? What place is this? Don't tell me this is something you engineered," spoke the grumpy god while complaining about his current situation. Goku, who finally opened his eyes, was surprised and happy at the god's presence at the same time, as it meant that the training method was really taking effect. Now, all that was needed was to just have a good fight against Beerus. Goku couldn't be happier at that moment. Goku said, "Hello Mr. Beerus, how are you? Ha 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 ha. Well, this place is my subconscious. Let's say I projected you into this empty place now. We can train properly here, as this place will never be destroyed," said Goku while explaining the situation with a look of happiness on his face. Beerus said, "Did you design me? Ha 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 ha. How foolish. I think the slaps I gave you in the previous training made you lose what little lucidity you had left. I am a real person and not a projection. Don't say nonsense in front of me," said Beerus, who said this with disdain. Goku said, "What do you mean? Well, it doesn't matter. You're here, aren't you? So what do you think? Could I train with you? I'm looking to get stronger each time, so I thought fighting directly with you was the most viable option," Goku commented with his arms crossed. Beerus said, "Oh, what the hell? I have no other choice. If I don't do this, Whis will drive me crazy later. So let's get on with it, Saiyan. But before we start, I ask you not to hold back. I won't go easy on you this time." Beerus said while he had his arms crossed, waiting for the Saiyan to move. Goku, who had faced that with a small smile of satisfaction, decided to attack Beerus with full speed and strength. When the Saiyan approached the god, Goku was already using his incomplete Ultra Instinct, so it was clear that the Saiyan was not. I was taking it as a joke this time. The fight was tense. Beerus just defended all the blows thrown by the Saiyan with kicks that ricocheted with Goku's powerful and fast punches. Everything seemed to be being destroyed in the surroundings, but it was of no use, as that was Goku's subconscious, and therefore everything would restructure itself again. Goku continued to increase his speed and precision in his strikes more and more. Beerus was starting to think that Goku was becoming fun and could be an attraction in this fight, so he finally decided to launch a huge counterattack against the defenseless Saiyan. Goku felt that his ankle was dislocated, however. He quickly put it back in place and everything was ready to happen again. But this time, Beerus had increased his enormous and dangerous aura a little. It was visible that Beerus was lifting this. He fights much more seriously than other times, but that didn't make Goku despair, but rather saw it all as a sign that he was taking it seriously and that he should take it seriously too. Goku instantly goes into the state of complete Ultra Instinct. He soon teleports with his enormous speed and delivers a powerful punch to Beerus' face, to the point of even causing the god of destruction to succumb to the ground for a few moments. But that didn't last long, as Beerus soon got up with a huge will and delivered a big headbutt to Goku's stomach. Goku was a little surprised, as naturally he should have dodged this attack, but it seems that Beerus really knows how to deal with the Ultra Instinct developed by angels. Goku tried to deliver several knees to the god of destruction's abdomen, but they were all ricocheted by the enormous imposing aura that covered the god's body, which left Goku surprisingly surprised. Beerus decided it was time to end this. Yes, that was definitely the fight he was enjoying the most in his life, but it was undeniable that Goku still had a long way to go to reach his own level. Beerus said, "Very well, Saiyan, I admit the fight is fun, however, I'm afraid I'll have to finish it myself. I don't like losing, and you're trying to make me lose. I won't accept that," said Beerus, who was acting like a spoiled child. Goku said, "Very well then, my most powerful blow will be the last one." Goku commented, with his silver eyes shining brightly so that Goku would become stronger. At this exact moment, two opposing forces collided. Beerus was delivering a tornado of consecutive punches at Goku, but Goku had a great sense of dodging that was able to face Beerus' powerful and unbridled attacks. Beerus started to get angry because that situation was going nowhere, and he wanted to win at any cost. Even though he was a god, he had many human characteristics. Goku and Beerus both moved a great distance away. The two were standing on top of a mountain peak. They were facing each other. They both felt that this was the most powerful punch they would throw at that moment. And so it was. They both broke free from the mountains and headed towards each other at high speed, with their fists touching and causing a great reaction of wind and destruction. Goku, while pressing his fist against Beerus, forced himself to never give up. He was pushing everything he had. All his accumulated strength was loaded into that last blow, and he couldn't just give up in that clash of energies. Beerus was feeling that Goku's fist was more refined. He was managing to lessen the god's punch, and at a certain point, he managed to simply hit him squarely. After that, the great shock curtain had come apart. They were both lying on the ground, and quickly Goku had completely exhausted himself. Goku said, I didn't imagine it would be this exhausting, ha ha ha. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Ha 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 ha! Perfect! Goku said, being extremely happy with the result obtained. Beerus, who was next to Goku, was simply starting to disappear. Energy particles were coming out of that place, and Goku was feeling it strongly, especially because he was the one who projected that Beerus into this mental world. Goku, despite being tired and injured, was absurdly happy. Meanwhile, in the physical world, in the room of time, Goku had finally woken up. He was extremely sweaty, and although it seemed like he didn't have any type of injury, he felt severe pain throughout his body. But still, he felt that his body was evolving and adapting to everything he went through in his mental state. So he was satisfied. Goku, who was satisfied with everything, had finally decided to leave the time room and go to the real world. When the Saiyan left, he thanked Dende and Mr. Popo for their stay and immediately flew to his home as he missed his family. As the Saiyan flew, he noticed that the world seemed different. Everything was more technological and more detailed than before. It was as if he had actually stayed in that room for a long time and hadn't even noticed. Goku, who had finally arrived at his house, could see that the structure of his house and the field were the same, and with that in mind, he decided to enter. He soon realized that he had actually stayed in that room for a long time, as Goten already appeared to be elderly, and unfortunately, Chi-Chi seemed to have passed away years ago due to an illness. Still, Goten didn't didn't hold any resentment towards his father. He understood him, and right after, he gave him a hug. Guys, this is how we end today's video. Did you like it? It's very important that you leave your like and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos like this. Also comment Old Goku so I can see who made it to the end. See you next time, guys.